Hi.
Hi, Dalad.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
Good. Quite all right.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Um, let's get right into it. Can you explain to people that maybe don't know you yet really quickly who you are and what you're doing at Kindy here in Berlin?
So my name is Dalad, and I'm the head chef at Kindy Berlin, which is a contemporary Thai restaurant. We sort of, I would say we like a fun dining. People call us fine dining. We use local produce and combine that with like a Thai sort of traditional route of making on curry paste. The flavors and all the stuff is quite, no Thai people can, all the Thai people who came to our restaurant was quite impressed and said that some even said they haven't tasted certain things or certain dishes in a really long time. But also, we all the vegetables are local source. So because we believe that to eat well, Hindi mean eat well, and to eat well, so you should eat sustainably as well.
Great. As you said already, I think you are in Germany, I would even say, definitely an ambassador for Thai food because Thai food generally has like the image of being cheap takeout. And I think you're one of the first people that, elevated that and showed really what craftsmanship is behind that. And that's also something that you really communicate. So how is it for you to now offer takeout food, because you switched now since the restaurant had to close to offer takeout curries, right?
Yes. On the note of being the ambassador, I don't know if I'm an ambassador of Thai cuisine, but I'm quite happy that it's actually a woman, a Thai woman, rather than a white man. So I'm really happy about that. Happy for
Yes.
saying that for once. How do we switch it? So we always been really playful and be very creative with our food. We always think about what best we can do with certain ingredients. So when you come to our place, some of the dishes look completely different than what you had in Thailand, but the flavors bring you back. So when we do curry takeout, we think about comfort food, and we think, what do we do that is the most, obviously when the corona crisis happened, it was very obvious that we have to get closed down, and we kind of anticipating that, and we basically were just cutting down the days to happen, and we were assuming it's gonna happen this weekend or no, so it's probably next week. A good friend, Christian Bauman of 108 Copenhagen, he was like, you should just come up with a plan already, Dalad. Do it. Yeah, do it. He's so
Yeah.
sweet. His wife is also Thai. So I kind of brainstormed, and I thought that what people really come back to Kindy, people really craving, there are a few things, and usually it's something that very flavorful, either pan fry or crispy and soft inside, or curry. So I think, why don't we just do curry takeout then? Like our curries, every curry paste that we do always tastes better than the one you buy anywhere in Germany. Because, for example, green curry paste, people usually put 4 or 6 ingredients, and when we do is 12. Each one treated differently. Some of them you roast them before, some of them you smash them before you can blend them together or whatever, and before saute and naturally have them preserved with oil. So I said, well, why don't we share this? And this is a great time for people which turned out to be true, that people who couldn't come to Kindy before because they have kids or they have busy job or it's too far from them or the budget or whatever. So now they can have amazing curry. And obviously we want to work with the producer that always been there for us. People think that chefs are the one who deserve the star, like we get Michelin star, we get all this recognition or whatever. But for me, I do think that all those farmers are the real stars. They work tirelessly generation and generations without getting paid significantly much or getting spotlight on. And without them, I can't cook those amazing food that got me the star. So obviously we, look really closely on what we have in season or what we can get right now. And it was a bit of a weird time, change of season as well. So we obviously go with all the fish chicken, because we noticed that he's apparently he put on an Instagram that he lost about like
Lars
10,000.
Odefey, hopefully he's also watching right now. I'm gonna tag him later.
I think he was told that he lost a quite big order. So we said, okay, let's do it. And we know that to use his chicken, which is the best chicken in Germany.
Just to give a little background for people, Lars Odefey is a chicken producer in the north of Germany, and he's delivering a lot of chickens to gastronomy. So a lot of his revenues got cut down in the last weeks.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And it's been, super good quality. And we said, okay, we want people to feel full. We don't want people to have to feel like they come to a Michelin-star restaurant takeout and don't get full. So they have to feel full, have to be comforting. And the quality will be in the flavors and the produce. So therefore, our chicken curry is 18 euros. But it's big enough to
But how
have
do
it.
you, I mean, normally you have the space, the restaurant, to communicate that to people. And like, I mean, I've eaten a few times at your restaurant, and you go out, you talk to your guests, like you really try to make them understand what you're doing there, and communicate that making these curry pastes takes hours and overnight and days, and it takes so many ingredients, and you're working with local producers, which also then you want to pay the real price for the food. Now you don't have that chance anymore. Like, how is there a way maybe it's also social media, I don't know, like, is there a way where
We've been using
now communicate
Instagram.
that?
Instagram mostly, yeah. I find that in this time, people communicate mostly on Instagram. Yeah. There have been some email newsletter and stuff, but I think because people have more time, maybe Instagram is a good way to communicate. So we've been doing it through Instagram, and luckily, because our place, we have a reputation of quality, so it's make it quite not too difficult to convince people stuff. But obviously we see a trend, like in the first week, the first few days, like one day busy, one day not, okay, and then a few news outlet like Tip Berlin also feature us and all sort of thing, which is really nice. But then we noticed that like after the first week, the word of mouth, like people been saying, hey, my friend said that you have the best chicken curry, my friend keep talking about your chicken curry, my friend keep talking about your your food takeout, can I please like order takeout? And I'm like, sure, of course, yeah, when we do it. One thing that had been quite interesting is that, before we have the Corona crisis, I don't really do communicating with customer because I don't speak German, and I don't want to offend people because this is Germany and I want people to feel comfortable to speak their own language. But since now I'm taking orders, so I always reply back in English really politely, and suddenly everyone speaks English.
Very good.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about like the feeling of community, because you're not that long in Berlin now. And how do you feel about the Berlin food community? Do you feel supported from other people? Do you feel like there's a community spirit right now? What is your take on that?
I think, if you go to any food city, and you're looking for any city to have great story about food, they're always somewhat immigration story influence always. That's just the reality of it, that you need a bit of influence. Of course, maybe the French wouldn't say that, but yeah. So in Berlin, for example, it's mostly expat. We have a lot of great German chefs, but the community is still have a lot to do, at least in my experience. People that are not born and raised in Berlin, either they moved from somewhere else in Germany, or either were moved from some different country. And for example, I was a part of, I'm still a member of FFC, Feminist Food Club, and that's a fantastic network for women in gastronomy. And that has a lot to do with the fact that if you're woman in gastronomy, had always been quite shit. Until recently, that I think there's a lot more spoken about it, and there are a lot more people, for example, like me, tell men to shut up and stuff like that. So I think it's been quite, I would say, a bit nicer, at least from my experience. But before, when I first started, it was all mostly men, and then I found Feminist Food Club, and I realized there's a lot of women out there, and it's beautiful. And if you think about it, a lot of great female chefs coming out more and more. For example, Shanking Noodle.
I was just about to say, you are now just dropped that you're gonna start a collaboration with actually wonderful Ash from Chunking Noodles and Mr. Susan. Can you talk a little bit about that? What are you gonna do? How did you come up with the idea? And
So actually, me and Ash, we always want to cook together. We always want to do something. We just both been so tired. On the weekend, we just went on day off. We just sleep. We meet to eat, and we haven't found the time to do it. And during this tough time, I was just like, hey, why don't we do our spicy? You can do yours, this sauce or this sauce that you do, like our spicy sauce together. And I said, well, great idea. Yeah, let's do it. And I was still busy. And next week we should talk about it again. And then she said, "Oh, I ran into Susan from Mrs. Susan, and she's selling her kimchi, and it's her business. Obviously, she's a bar business before cocktail, and so she particularly, I think, would hit it a little bit hard. So I said, why don't we support her too, And she said that's a great idea. So we reached out to her and said, hey, if you want to do something together. And then so we're gonna do 3 kind of spicy sauces in a package. And the details, I think we'll announce it, I think maybe like later today. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting because like I need coriander to do that, and fresh coriander, Taiwan is a bit, it's hard to find right now. Right. So we're just waiting until we get that, and Thai green chili, and then we're good. We can do it. Yeah.
But I thought there was also something so nice to see when I saw the post of you guys, that I feel like the last week everyone was really, really involved with themselves, trying to figure their own business out, trying to figure it out. And I feel like now it's a time to really, where people are reaching out and also finding this collaboration, something that maybe is a good strategy right now to maybe comfort yourself, but also have another business going up, like Changqing making her amazing signature and chili sauces, you making curries or pastes. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think that collaboration is a strategy now that people should, that is like a solution right now?
To be honest, I don't think economically Kindi would make that much money from this sauce at all. I don't think it would be, because we employ like about 12, 15 people right now, That's also the reason why I'm not actively at the restaurant that much too, because right now we have to give jobs to our staff as much as possible, so that we make sure that they get more than 60% from the government help for those who can't work. Want to give away jobs as much as we can. So for me, this project particularly, like I know that it will just pay one of my staff for like 1 week of her time working, or maybe a little bit more, 2 weeks, and that's all that matter for me, because that's what Kindi, what we're doing right now. We don't necessarily going to make money. It's just more about making sure our staff that we love and been there for us, getting paid and still go on with life nicely. But I think for sure, like, for Changqing and Susan, for us, we all benefiting from this in one way or the other. For me, like I said, it's for my staff, and I don't know, for them, they can have a little bit of cash flow extra or whatever. Not that they're not doing well already, or fine, but I see the sense of collaborative as you supporting each other, and it's a nice message sending out to the people that, hey, not that everyone fighting to survive this, but we're actually holding together even though in a tough time. In the good time, I think there's always collaboration because it's fun, we have money, we do more, maybe don't make money, it's fine. And in the tough time, obviously everyone just have to think about their business to go on first. And I think doing this is a really nice message to people that it's still important to stay together.
Yeah, for sure. You were mentioning the 60% help of the government in Germany for your employees. How was it for you as an expat and you mentioned before, like there's so many expats working in gastronomy in Berlin. How did you find information? Do you feel supported by the government? Is it easy for you as an expat to find information that's not in German? Do you have any help?
Yes, all my information are through my partner who's German. I did look up some stuff, and I did try to like Google some stuff and do Google translation and all those sorts. But the reality of it, I don't speak German, and all the official information is all in German. And right now, people saying things and I hear mix and stuff. But I just kind of rely on my partner because, that's why I chose them as a partner, and they chose me because they're locals expertise. So we did the 60% thing. We asked our staff to sign it before we close. We explained to them what's happening, and my partner explained to them again. And it's quite frankly, originally I didn't know that we will ever actually have to use it. I thought that, okay, that's not going to happen. And of course, as it's a week before we close, and when we realize, okay, we're going to close, it's just a matter of days. So we've been using that a bit.
And I also saw that the Feminist Food Club also shared some information in English and shared some links. So I think that was also a really nice network and platform where you can find information.
Yeah. I highly suggest, if you're a woman and you live in Berlin, you speak German or English, you should join that Feminist Food Club, really, because it's really, I think it's so important for us women to stick together and to help. And and this is not a club where you go in and they pat your back like everything's going to be okay. They actually do research, they talk about topics, they talk about things very thoroughly. They teach women German women particularly, like to understand that they are privileged and they have a better life than a lot of women who's not white, and to understand better and to learn better. And it's also and also I met many amazing women there, and when I have people ask me for jobs that I can't do, I've learned that I always pass it. This is from Masano Flower Berlin. She said to me, if you have a job request you can't do it, you pass this to 2 to 3 more women, which is something I've been doing. If there's a catering inquiry I can't do, or anything that doesn't fit me, or it just didn't work out with our concept or whatever, I just pass it on to women.
That's actually a great idea to do.
Yeah.
Which probably also a lot of men should start doing.
Yeah, men should do that too. If they can't do the job, pass on to 3 women, and the world will be a little bit better,
Exactly. But there's a lot of discussion right now on if feminism is on a break right now, because we have to go back into our homes. If we have kids, take care of the kids. Do you think that this pandemic and this crisis in general is hitting women that own businesses that are in gastronomy in the end maybe harder? Because also when you look into the future of getting loans, there's statistics that it's harder for us to also get loans and start and get in touch with investors. What do you think about that? Do you think it will be a difference?
I do think that one thing that I think, taking loan in Germany in general, when it comes to business, they just mostly look at the number and stuff like that, from my understanding. Taking private loan as a woman, in my experience, was a little bit, they were like, you're not married, and all those questions that's like, it's legit in their mind and it sounds reasonable, but at the same time, men obviously being, a single man at 40 is different than, a woman, because they kind of assume that you're going to have to be helped. But one thing that I always said to people is that women need to invest in more women. Sometimes people not give me crap, but like, oh, but Dalad, oh, your partner are a white man. And I'm like, they are fantastic. I'm really lucky to have them as my partner. Stefan, Morris is amazing. And then Rick, who's Thai and a Thai artist. But there weren't any other options, There weren't any other great women out there with money and expertise to do it. Even, not just expertise, women with money who say, I'm going to bet on you because I believe in you. In my case, it wasn't available because there were none. So I think if there's, I know there are women out there with money. I know there are women whose family have money and they're participating or in the decision to invest. And I think those women need to invest more in women, because to really truly change the game, it can't be just the bottom, like it can't be like this hotel in Germany where they always talk about how they have so many great women team, they're on the executive part, they do the senior role, blah, blah. But then all the owner and the boards are all men.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's bullshit. If you really believe in supporting women, if you want to go around telling people that, oh, I have a female woman great woman working for me and executive, make them a partner. That's what my partner did. They believe in me. They're like, okay, she's going to own it because she's worked hard and this is her project. And I think
we need more women in decision-making positions.
And in the power position, where they actually have a stake and where they're actually responsible for the business, and what they say is actually really valuable. And I think this is something that we have to keep in mind, especially when you see men like talking about, oh, like I have this people work for me, this woman, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are they your partner? If not, shut up. Like really shut your mouth up, because in the end you just exploit them by having, even their talent, and you pay them well, but you still exploit by this image. If you really want to support them, make them your partner, period.
Yeah, for sure. I have nothing to add to this. You say all the right things. I don't want to keep you from your day. I just have like 2 last short questions. What was actually one of the most difficult decisions you had to make since this crisis started?
For me personally, what was to not work too much.
Yeah.
To not like, usually when there's a change in the business or like the new project, I'm all very like, oh, I want to do it all. And it was very obvious decision to make that okay, we have 12 staff, we love them, we want to give them any job, but the takeout business only need 3 people a day. How do we do it? So then we're kind of like, okay, we have a bit of money left, for example, with chunking collaboration. If we if we can sell all that we produce, then I can give this person 2 more weeks of job. Okay, so I'm going to do that because she usually work 20 hours or 15 hours, so we're going to do that. And for myself, obviously it's a good time for me to rest a little bit and get my health back and recover. So I'm not super there at the restaurant like I used to be, on year one, where like it's like from the beginning to the end, the first and the last person. So that's, for me personally, was a little bit hard, but it's also good that I'm able to do it because I think I have an amazing team, mostly women. Actually, at Kindi, my sous chef, she's, her, Anne-Sophie, she's quite amazing. And
shout out to Anne-Sophie.
She can just take care of it. My Thai woman, May, she got it. She's like, I know, I can do the food, don't worry. I won't make it taste any less good than you. So that's fantastic. So if you come by takeoff from Kindi, you're supporting quite a lot of women right now.
And you were talking about, I was talking a lot with people, how it's so difficult for chefs and people in gastronomy right now to actually maybe do slow down. And like, I see like 2 opposites of the stories. Like some people are really like finding like they're thriving in this situation, and like I'm so impressed by so many creative, and that's why we're also doing these talks, right? Like to show how much creativity and how much motivation and how much fire is behind the people that work in this industry. And on the other hand, I'm also thinking about, okay, but maybe this is right now a time also to focus on what is important. And we did call this also like comfort food talks, because we do want to, I think it definitely comforts, we comfort each other in like sharing what we do right now and sharing. Hi, Lucas. So how do you, when you say, okay, I'm slowing down a little bit and it's difficult for me, how do you find comfort right now? And what do you do to...
One thing that people didn't really know, and I didn't really tell anyone, is that the last 6 months I had like this weird health issue that I don't know where it's from. I have inflammatory in my body, and it's really horrible that I feel like pain, but the doctor couldn't really find what's wrong, what happened. And I start seeing doctor who because of my job is quite physically and emotionally very stressful. I own the business. So every time someone say, "Oh, this is not Thai food, this is so shit, I don't want mango," like it's directly to me, right? And okay, now I'm immune to that comment, but then always something come in that you kind of have to deal with, and training your staff and importantly taking care of them, making sure they're okay. I think there were a lot on me that I didn't realize, and I start have this weird thing. So I'm start seeing different doctors, which I recommend anyone who have it's kind of like weird physical pain or stress. There's more like a well-being approach. And the doctors just kind of asked and said that I probably had gone through, which is true, like quite a trauma of like, I broke up with my ex-boyfriend last year. I had to move, and stress of like first year with Michelin star. Just a lot happened to me. And so for me, what happened during the slowdown is that weirdly, the first week I was so going crazy, tried to overwork still, and through phone, email, or whatever. And then second week I kind of calmed down and start reading more. And the strange thing is that I start cooking at home again, which is something I stopped doing for a really, really long time. Like I only cook in the kitchen. At home I don't cook at all. And now I start cooking again, and I start loving cooking at home again, like making new dishes and trying things and experimenting, and I think that's something for me is kind of almost like a gift, that like I am able to come back here. So I hope, for those who have to slow down, I hope you take this time to because face it, our job it's time consuming. You don't have the same schedule with your family or your loved one. So take this opportunity to do that, because you need that for your soul and for your heart and your mind. It's the love you get from your family and from your friend, and the love for your what you want to do and your passion, And I think those things are the core that you need to take care of it first before you can physically go in every day in the kitchen and cooking like a madness.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dalad, for taking the time. It was really, really nice seeing you. And I hope I see you soon at the restaurant again.
Yes.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.